Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another video. There's another paid request, this time for Manuel. He wanted me to do a commentary on this film. Thank you for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, reviews, re-reviews, commentaries, randomness, lists, reactions, rankings, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And like I say, he wanted me to do a commentary on The One, a Jet Li film from 2001. In order to save the universe, he will have to fight the fiercest enemy he has ever faced, himself. And let's get started. I'm paused at the beginning. Countdown. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. This is a film that, while I don't consider one of Jet Li's best films, I mean, I enjoy Fist of Legend. My personal favorite is Kiss of the Dragon, which came out the same year as this. I love the way it was directed. I love the action scenes. When he fights the two guys, the finale, the soundtrack. Just Kiss of the Dragon always appealed to me the most for Jet Li. But like I said, I do like Fist of Legend. I don't mind Cradle to the Grave. Rest in peace, DMX. This one, it's fun. It was fun to see Jet Li in a sci-fi American film with a little bit of a budget behind it. I mean, maybe the budget doesn't show nowadays, but you know, it doesn't look like a direct-to-video film. It's also ironic. Obviously, this was a staple in comics, but again, the whole fact we're talking about parallel universes and multiverse in this opening, and now look what's happening in films today. Spider-Man No Way Home, the multiverse, and Doctor Strange is doing a sequel about the multiverse, and now The Flash, and Michael Keaton as Batman is the multiverse. Now, with all these multiverses in films coming out, just based on comic books, now we have this movie here. I do think James Wong, with his buddy Glen Morgan, they did do a couple creative stuff. Like, they have this opening here with the cops, and the setup of this becomes similar in about 10 minutes later, where you follow another group of cops that get another person out. Only this time, Jet Li isn't the criminal, Jet Li is one of the cops. So it's nice showcase of same but different of these parallel universes. And even the idea, it's a fun idea. Yeah, it's like a video game idea, but I don't mind it. See, that's a touch where President Al Gore, I think that's the first inclination, oh, we're not in our dimension. Al Gore is president. I just, further showcase, if in case you don't know, yep, that tells you we're not in Kansas anymore. We're not in our universe. Even like the color scheme, here is a bit like purple, neon. When you get to our world, it looks different. And here we have Jet Li playing, well, multiple roles, but mainly these two. But actually, no, that's not true. This is another Jet Li. Just the Jet Li, our bad guys don't kill this Jet Li. This is like a gangster Jet Li. And yeah, our villain's going to kill this one. It's been a while. It's been a minute since I've seen this. I saw this first on DVD. There was this actual DVD. Because that was a time where Jet Li was coming to the Hollywood market. Because when I was growing up, I didn't get to see a lot of Hong Kong movies. I just didn't. Especially at that time. The only time I was able to see these guys is when they got to American production. Jackie Chan, the first time I got to see him was Rumble in the Bronx and Operation Condor, and then Rush Hour. At Jet Li, it was Lethal Weapon 4, and then Kiss the Dragon, this movie, and afterward Unleashed. And then years later, I would find Fist of Legend. He did a Die Hard type of movie called High Risk, also known as Meltdown. There you go, Taken Down. And I was having the idea is that you have, what if someone goes to each universe to kill a version of themselves, because the matter, the energy, I guess, will split amongst the survivors. And this bad guy of Jet Li wants to become the one, the most powerful one. And people say that he could become a god or it could destroy the universe. I actually think it's a fun B-movie idea. Yes, it's a B-movie idea, but you know, it's a fun B-movie idea. And the movie goes at a fast pace. It's only an hour and 27 minutes. It does not overstay its welcome. And come on, you got Jet Li at the end as the bad guy going, "I'm nobody's bitch. You are mine." How many times are you going to see Jet Li call someone a bitch? "I'm nobody's bitch. You are mine. You're my bitch." I mean, come on. You have a film where Jet Li says that "I'm nobody's bitch"? Can't be all bad. But it's not one of my favorites. But here we get some of this, definitely inspired by The Matrix with the slow-mo. Which is fun, because you're showcasing his abilities has improved. Strength, speed. So how do you showcase he moves faster? Define the laws of physics. He's stronger by keeping his body, and this shows how fast he is. Still looks kind of cool, honestly. I mean, for 2001, it still looks kind of cool that, you know, he's moving, but they're moving slow, and he's moving normal, and again, the higher strength, he's able to just move bodies like it is. I mean, there will always be questions when you come about, well, if you have a punch, if he's that powerful, wouldn't one punch just kill the guy? Because wouldn't it be the punch of like a freight train? Like, if you hit the guy once, won't it shatter, break, kill? But you just say it for like any superhero stuff and any comic book stuff. Now, again, another showcase of his speed. Of course, we have quite a bit of an action beat here. Again, the showcase our villain. And showing pretty much the attributes. I mean, again, agility, strength, moving faster, like I said. And I guarantee you one of the inspirations for the film was The Matrix being a hit, because The Matrix was 1999. And after 1999, you had a slew of movies, whether it be Bulletproof Monk, which was based on a comic, but that way of action, this here, a slew of movies, even like Charlie's Angels, some of those action, heavily inspired by The Matrix. Let alone ripping off Bullet Time, or which, I mean, they don't do that a whole lot anymore, which maybe for the better. Because as a thing, like, it looks cool, but then when you do it so many times, it just gets a repeated gag that people get tired of. Here's another crazy jump. And here's the thing with this villain, he only wants to really kill his own version. That's why he's not just stopping and massacring all these guys. He's just... we have Delroy Lindo and Jason Statham. This is our guys from the multiverse police trying to stop this guy. Delroy Lindo, good actor. He was in from Gone in 60 Seconds to Ransom to a variety of other movies. Very solid actor. And then Jason Statham, this is before he became an action star. I mean, by this point, Jason Statham had only done films like Lot, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, and yeah, this was 2001. It wasn't until the next year, 2002, where he was in The Transporter. And I think that was helped direct by Corey Yun, which they met on this movie. Because Corey Yun did the fight choreography because he worked with Jet Li a lot. I think that was the first time Statham. Well, number one, it's the first time he worked with Jet Li, which they would work together on War, on the Expendables films. But yeah, they had worked with Corey Yun, which we're going to The Transporter. And it's interesting to see Statham in here because very different persona. Where nowadays Statham's very, cool under pressure, and he's talking very softly. But here you see he's much more manic. Even his dialogue, he's much more energetic. He's got hair. He doesn't do as much martial arts because he wasn't into martial arts as much at this time. He wanted to. On the behind the scenes, they talk about how enthusiastic he wanted to learn. But yeah, this was before Statham really got into the action genre. And then again, 2002, you had The Transporter. Then after that, you had... He was the villain in Cellular, which is a good film with Chris Evans. Underrated film, Cellular. Where Chris Evans gets a random phone call from Kim Basinger saying she's in trouble, she's taken hostage, and Chris Evans is on a race against time to figure out what the hell he's supposed to do next. And again, Jason Statham played the villain. You had The Transporter 2 and 3, you had Crank 2 High Voltage, all these other films, and then The Expendables. And like I said, him and Jet Li worked together in those, and War. War, I'm sorry, I've never been a fan of. I don't care for the storyline, I don't care for the lame, oh yeah, Jason Statham's a bad guy. That almost, I don't know if I could say almost comes out of nowhere, but wasn't really needed. I don't think it helped the story. The ending, the way Statham gets taken out, I thought was lame. The fight scenes are lame because the director wanted to do it his own stupid way. So Statham versus Jet Li, just a lame fight. Because this is a cool idea to showcase like all the different... Although, based on these pictures, it does look like Jet Li just had a photo session. Which they did. They just had a photo session where they took all these pictures. But, like, why would all these people pose for these pictures? Like, just turn the camera, criminal, and look like this. Just turn over here and look like this. I think it would have worked better if it was, like, pictures taken, like, during their work or during their job, or like a photo album type of picture, you would think, but whatever. Just to showcase all the other Jet Li stuff. And this is an introduction to Jet Li, this one's fighting style, where Yulaw is much more aggressive. She's much more going in a straight line, going towards, not backing up, while our good Jet Li is sort of the more flowing in a circle, and that's what helps him save his butt at the end and defeat this guy. I mean, in a way, I could say this is an ambitious project, maybe a little bit too ambitious for Jet Li acting-wise. I still like Jet Li. I still like Jet Li in the film. But there are times where it's a lot of dialogue. It's points of acting where... Like, Jet Li did a good job in Unleashed. But Unleashed... That's what 2000. That's a few years later after this. What 5 years maybe, give or take. By this point, I think when he got to Lethal Weapon 4, he had like this amount of English, and so it's only been 3 years. And he had done after Lethal Weapon 4, he did Romeo Must Die, and then in this film he did 2000. Romeo Must Die was 2000, and then 2001 he did this and Kiss of the Dragon. He's not as fluent in English as maybe nowadays. Because this is Carla Gugino, who kind of almost a girlfriend, wife of each of these universes. And this is directed by Glen Morgan and, well, James Wong. James Wong is the director, but Glen Morgan helped. These are two guys that worked on the X-Files. They worked on a lot of episodes of the X-Files. They were successful in that stint, and it led to them doing other shows. Granted, they didn't do well. Space Above and Beyond lasted maybe a year. They did the second season of Millennium, which there are episodes I liked in that, but I definitely think it's a step down from the first season. Because I think the first season, it was like Seven, the TV show. I think that was the right direction. But then they changed it up to be, sadly, a little bit more like X-Files. Again, I like Millennium Season 2. I love the show. It needs a Blu-ray. But I do think Season 2 is a step down from Season 1. As because some of the choices they made. And then each of them did different movies. James Wong directed the first Final Destination, which was a hit. And that's what helped get this movie. Because Final Destination came out in 2000. And it's a solid film. Fun premise. Good cast with Devon Sawa and even Sean William Scott and Tony Todd. And creative death scenes. I like Final Destination and Final Destination 2, but after that, not so much with Final Destination. See, like here where I'm talking about with Jet Li's acting, I get what he's doing because he's supposed to be the villain, so he's trying to talk very tough, but it's just not. It's not flowing as best as it could because. It just feels a bit more stilted in dialogue delivery. But I still don't mind, because I like Jet Li, and I think he seems better as the nice guy than as the villain, except, bits like at the end, I'm nobody's bitch. And this is a pretty goofy idea. Well, it's a pretty crazy idea that this mouse becomes a bomb. As with a bomb up its ass. Pretty much is what it is. Got someone up his ass. Are you? But yeah, James Wong directed this. He directed Final Destination 3 after this. This film, I don't think, did that well when it came out. I mean, I do think the that stuff actually doesn't hold up that badly. Like when he jumps and he shoots two people before he's even got to the ground. It's like, you know what? If you did this with Max Payne, a Max Payne movie, it could actually work. Because again, I think for 2001 effects, you had the dissipation effects and like this stuff here, maybe a little bit dated. But I mean, I could let it go. It's 2001, not 2021. But again, when he's, like I said, going faster than them, again, I actually think it's not that bad. Watch it today. It's actually pretty decent looking. Jason Statham definitely has much of a thicker accent in here. So yeah, it's kind of fun going by and watching a different type of Statham. different type of acting. Just before this, Jason Statham did Ghosts of Mars, which, from what I understand, early on in his career, he was supposed to be the star of Dodge Soldiers, and sadly that didn't pan out. I still would love to see Statham in that type of movie. And then he was supposed to be the star, the main star in Ghosts of Mars. But then they got Ice Cube. They said, well, Ice Cube is a bigger name because he was in Friday and he's a big rap star and he's been in films like Anaconda. And see, that's what I'm talking about. Like in the beginning of the film, you have the same premise and shots, but here we have W. So it's like, okay, this is our universe, our world. And instead of Jet Li being the criminal, oh, Jet Li is one of the cops, which we find out a little bit. Well, this sheriff department, sort of a SWAT team. And then the reveal here, Jet Li. Again, I think Jet Li is definitely much more comfortable as the good guy. I think his acting is better as the good guy than the bad guy. Although, again, the bad guy, he has some fun moments, like I mentioned. But again, back, like, James Wong did Final Destination, which was a hit. And then, this film, I don't think, did that well. I think it performed kind of poorly at the box office. And then after Final Destination 3, I don't know what James... Oh, I know what killed it. Dragon Ball Evolution. He did Dragon Ball Evolution, that movie where they've got a white nerdy... I don't even say nerdy. They got some white guy, Jamoke, to be Goku. I don't know what the fuck that was about, but I'm like, what? That's true. I don't even know shit about Dragon Ball Evolution, and even I know that film sucked when I saw it. I'm like, I haven't seen a damn episode of Dragon Ball, but even this fucking sucks. Dragon Ball Evolution. Fuck. And that's what killed James Wong's career. Even killed my voice talking. Career? Elmer Fudd. Career. Let's see. And then you have Glen Morgan, his buddy, which is, by this point they had known each other for 20 years. Again, they worked together on Space Above and Beyond, X-Files, Millennium, all these shows. And then Glen Morgan directed Willard, which I didn't mind. I saw it in the theater, actually. And then he directed... But that didn't do well. That bombed. And then the Black Christmas remake, which I think there's a lot of production problems. Probably the Weinsteins. Or I don't know. Idea. Black Christmas remake has one of the most misleading marketing campaigns in history. Did you watch the trailer to Black Christmas, the remake? Half that trailer is not in the movie. Like, there's this tree lawnmower theme with Christmas lights and what the hell that was. It's not in the movie. It's stuff specifically shot for the trailer. That's it. A killer is, like, hovering above a girl with a shotgun, or someone has a shotgun. None of that's in the movie. It's all horseshit. If there's a marketing that could be false advertising, it would be fucking that. But I do remember having some dumb fun with the Black Christmas remake. But that didn't do well either. That killed Glen Morgan's directing career. I don't know what they're doing nowadays. Glen Morgan, James Wong. I don't know what they're up to. I don't know if they do TV work. Maybe. I don't know. If you guys know, let me know in the comment section. What happened to Glen Morgan, James Wong? When you make flops... That's what's interesting about, if you have the Black Christmas remake DVD, watch the special features where Glen Morgan, there's like a sincere moment where he knows that this film bombs, his directing career is dead. That was very interesting to see, and he was right. Now, I've talked over this action, and I will say that's one of the attributes of this movie that works is, the movie's never boring. I don't think the movie ever gets boring. I mean, we're 24 minutes in, and we already had a good case of action where we had the opening scene with the bad guy. We had the escape from the future thing. We have this here. I don't know why Jet Li would not have shot his version in the head. Like, he already knows he's wearing a bodysuit, so why? And he seems like he's a good shot. We saw earlier in the film, without even barely looking, he's walking away, he does this, and he hits the guy and kills him. So why, in this instance, he didn't just shoot and kill Jet Li when he's, like, this far away? Because there'd be no movie. But then don't have him take the shot. Just have, like, Jet Li, the good one, just a shot on him first, or Statham got to there before he could hit one shot off. Don't have him shoot him once and make the audience ask questions of, well, wait a minute, why didn't you shoot him in the head? Shoot him in the fucking head. You're like 3 feet away. Again, you're a good shot before. It just, again, automatically you're making people ask questions. And you're taking the audience out of the escapism. I know it's a little thing, but when you get enough of those little things added up, it becomes, this is bullshit. This is all bullshit. That's the thing. Just take away those little things. You go through a film, and you take away those little things, it does add up. It does add up. And here we have his version of fighting, which is interesting to show two ways of fighting. The differences, one's in a circle, one is more aggressive. Now, I didn't even mention, this was supposed to be a movie starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. This is supposed to be his big debut film. After The Mummy Returns, there was talks of him doing this film. In fact, Glen Morgan and James Wong, they were going to start making the film with The Rock. But The Rock picked the Scorpion King. And they said, well, hell, what are we going to do? And then someone goes, well, I didn't get you Jet Li. Because he's starting to get in American films. He did Lethal Weapon 4. He did Romeo Must Die. So, hey, here's an American film. It's a sci-fi film. It's a high-concept film. This whole multiverse thing. It's got a decent budget behind it. But we'll do it this way. And that's how it came to be. Again, Dwayne Johnson, he did Scorpion King, and Jet Li did this movie. And I'm trying to think. Yeah, Dwayne. I don't know how this would be if it was The Rock. I mean, it's hard for me to say that because The Rock is in everything nowadays, and I'm getting tired of seeing it. Just, I do like Dwayne Johnson. I think he's very charismatic. I liked him in wrestling. I liked The Rundown and even Doom. Race to Witch Mountain was fun, but damn, so many movies he does, and it's almost like the same beats. Whether it be Jungle Cruise or Rampage or San Andreas or Skyscraper, I thought all those were lame as hell. It's like he's trying to play it safe and, hey, he's making the money. Those Jumanji sequels, even, Red Notice, I thought they were all just lame fucking films. I'll take this film over any of those films. I'll take this over the Jumanji sequels. I'll take this over San Andreas. I'll take this over Rampage. I'll take this over fucking... Because at least, despite what I say about Jet Li, at least it's him trying to do something different. it's him not just trying to do the same thing. Okay, he's being a good guy and a bad guy, and they face off. One of the and the reason like I don't love the film, one of the issues you come upon with these martial arts guys doing this type of flick, unless you do it well, like Jean-Claude Van Damme, they did that well in Time Cop. Like Time Cop, that dealt with Van Damme playing multiple roles, and even Double Impact did that as well. Like Van Damme and the people behind it knew how to utilize that more efficiently. And when you have a you versus you flick, it's tough because in the back of your head you always know that it is BS, that it's gonna be some type of double effect, special effect, and it's not really. So in a weird way, it's hard to take that leap of escapism because in the back of your head you still know there are not two Jet Lis. So when they're fighting, it's not you're trying to make Jet Li fight himself at the same time. In the back of your head, you know it's just a double, and then the effects. It's going to be a lot more effects work when it's two people fighting with each other, and you either got to hide them so it's always behind the back, or you got to put like a CG face or whatever the hell it may be. And it just. It's one of those things where when you have a martial arts guy like Jet Li or like Jackie Chan, they are the special effects. You know, this girl's like a bitch. I don't say it. This fucking Dr. Lady's just like a bitch. Like, everything she said, you're not pretty, gonna lose the wedding ring. It's like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Just do your job and shut up. I just technically just say she's doing her job, but she's fucking talk about piss poor customer service. I like that little detail that they both have necklaces. See, okay, see that proven point. This girl's a bitch. You just did an MRI, not a heart transplant. Just shut the fuck up, lady. Do your fucking job and put a dick in your mouth and smile. What a fucking bitch. This fucking MRI lady. She's like the big villain of the movie. I hate her more than the Jet Li villain. She's a bigger villain than Jet Li. Fucking hell, shut up. So I got off fucking. Got off my meds. Got off my. You're on my shit list, lady. I forgot what the hell I was saying. Oh, martial arts. That's my issues with Jackie Chan. Although I like this a lot more than the Medallion. Because I think James Wong, I like the energy in the film a lot more, and the action scenes are more interesting. Granted, Matrix, a little bit Matrix inspired, but trying to think. They are the special effect. Jet Li, Jackie Chan, they have such a wonderful showcase of their body and their skills and their martial arts. They are the martial effect. They are the special effect on itself. And so then when you try to add in actual special effects, again, it's like. It's one of those things that I don't know how to put it. It's like, it almost. Because they have to succumb to special effects, it almost takes away from their natural ability of martial arts. Like, Jackie Chan, we know he can do these fantastic bits, so you have to when you have to add CG and all these wire work to do all these crazy flips and stuff, it's like, well, you don't have to do the additional. They're already special. It's like you have a hat and you put a hat on a hat, and it just at times feels a bit more clunky. So if I watch a fight scene in Kiss of the Dragon, which is his natural attributes and how fast he is and kicking ass, that's more amazing to watch than this guy doing these special effects, and we already know he's capable of doing these fantastic feats, but then it's like, again, it's like putting a hat on a hat. It's like, I don't know what's another way to describe it. A gimmick upon another gimmick, and it's like, okay, how many? Don't put too many gimmicks on into the ingredients. You know what's funny? If you have the DVD, when the good Jet Li jumps and does that kick by the MRI, if you pause it, the face is really ridiculous because that's the do the fake CG Jet Li. It's the one with the gown who does the kick on the bad Jet Li. Why don't you just shoot one of his legs? But again, this movie definitely goes on a very fast pace, and like I said, it does not stop. And so this gets into the story about Jet Li's character is pretty much going to be framed for Jet Li's going to be framed for crimes he didn't commit, and that's going to, of course, how convenient that is that they both have the same outfit. Like, would they both have the same outfit? But again, that's the point, is that you don't know which jet is which. And that's the whole point of one. So again, that's the reason they have. But again, it's one of those like, wait, how the hell do they have the same outfit, the same clothes? But again, it's to give people doubt. But even that doubt's kind of disappear a little bit. But I mean, when Delroy Lindo even says, "Well, no, that's not. There's no way he would know that." And this have a lot more cuts and edits. I think if this was made in Hong Kong, this would be a lot more longer shots to show how you're able to do this in like one or two goes. I mean, it's efficient enough, and it's an interesting idea the show of strength that he actually bent the shotgun and it flew into a soda machine. And Jason Statham, I do enjoy. I like Jason Statham. A lot of people don't like him, or a lot of people. I mean, it gets to a point with a lot of these actors, they kind of get comfortable in a certain role or certain type, and they're unsure about breaking out of that mold because it's worked for them for so long, and it's their comfort zone, and it's very hard for them to get their comfort zone. But that's why I liked him in Spy. And sorry about if I made a little bit of noises in my throat. Sometimes I do that because it's like allergies or something. So it's like these weird noises come out of my throat this way. Sometimes you have just it's like almost like trying to fuck around with my throat so it's not me just coughing the whole time. I know it sounds stupid. I don't know how else to describe it. I'm special. I'm all fucked up. But that's why I like Jason Statham in that film Spy. Because I think this guy with the beard, I think that's the guy from American Movie. I believe. And yeah, I think that guy with the glasses, like the little beard here, that's from American Movie. Mark Borchardt? I forgot about that. I completely forgot about that. I think it's him. It looks like him. I'll know in the credits. But if it's him, like, wow, he was... Okay. Interesting. American Movies, like... It's a movie I really enjoy. Endearing film to me. Yeah, always been a fan of... If you haven't seen an American Movie and you want to see a movie about the spirit of filmmaking, that's definitely a movie to watch. Definitely a recommendation. It's just called American Movie. I think it came out like 2000 or something. Like, it came out... Yeah, it would have been around the same time. You know, or before this, I mean. But I was saying with Jason Statham, like I said, I enjoyed his trajectory of his career because I do remember him seeing in this and Ghosts of Mars and like, whoa, he's a star now and The Transporter. And I remember the trailer of The Transporter. Ricochet off the wall, y'all. We're gonna brawl, brawl. And then The Transporter 2. Really enjoyed the trailer of that. Enjoyed the music in the trailer. Got me hyped and highly... I think for what they are, the plots are not big deals in the Transporter films, to be fair. But it's just the action entertainment factor that I can enjoy issues with plot. You can have issues with plot or being unrealistic, or I just want to have fun and be entertained. Is this a drowning pool? I think this is Drowning Pool. You were a sinner. I think it's Drowning Pool. I think it's the same band that did Bodies. The bodies hit the floor. I think they did this one as well. But yeah, I think I can have a lot of problems with the film. I just want to have fun. That's what people don't understand about me, is that why do you like the... I just want to be entertained. Yes, sometimes I like to think like Donnie Darko, or I like to have a psychological enjoyment like Jacob's Ladder or Session 9, or I like to just enjoy a drama like just Shawshank Redemption or 127 Hours, but for the most part I enjoy just escapism and entertainment. That's my preference. And a film like this kind of hits on that level. I think I reviewed this film because I did a stint of reviewing American Jet Li films. I don't even know what I said in the review. It was so long ago. And because I've seen so many other kinds of films and so many worse type of films, especially in this, my enjoyment might have been improved since then. So again, I know I reviewed this film on the channel, but I might like this more now than I did then because again, at the gluttony of movies that are like 2.5, 3 hours long and are so full of themselves and are fucking. It says something about today's market that I'm nostalgic for 2000 to 2001 movies. That I'm nostalgic for those. That I'm actually nostalgic for a movie like The One. A movie that's like a fun video game movie. That, I mean, it's not my preferred Jet Li. Kiss of the Dragon is more my preferred Jet Li, but because like I said, when you watch martial arts, they are the special effect themselves, so you just want to see them go without wire work, without bells and whistles, prime and basic and down and dirty. But like I said, at least it's something a bit different, and the cast works well. Like I said, Statham has a good support, and Delroy Lindo. Of course, the guy in Congo, "Stop eating my sesame cake." That's Delroy Lindo. He's a very solid actor. And you get the idea that Delroy Lindo and this guy used to be partners, and maybe some kind of mistake led to a version of Jet Li dying, and this Jet Li loved that feeling. And yeah, this going to the plot. You may destroy everything, and some say you may become a god, and that's what this Jet Li believes in. And like I said, I do think it does have a bit of a slick directing factor. It doesn't look like again a cheap film, because there's no way Delroy Lindo will win. He's trying. I mean, the fact that again, how he's so powerful, he's almost beating him up with his chin. Now, of course, I don't buy Delroy Lindo doing all these martial arts moves. That's why they're hiding his face. I like they did smash his foot and you saw blood coming out. I mean, they couldn't do too much. It's PG-13. That's another thing. I do kind of wish they just went full-blown rated R. But, again, they weren't going to do that. But yeah, the film got crapped on by critics. Has a 5.9 IMDb, so there are people who do like it for what it is. And guess what? It didn't need fucking 3 hours, 2.5 hours to tell his fucking story. We're 47 minutes in, and we had 40 minutes left. That's with the end credits. So without the end credits, 35 minutes left, give or take. Yeah, pretty much pummeling this guy to no end. But yeah, it does make that fact, if you're this strong, just one punch be able to kill the guy. And damn, this guy is so fast, he could grab this. Of course, they had to cut away from that death scene a bit because they couldn't show as much because of PG-13. As a nice showcase of Statham's character, where Yeah, they showcase he's fuck procedure. I don't care about procedure. I'm not going to follow the rules to the degree you want me to. So we showcase that he's not a prim and proper guy, which actually worked out for it. It actually worked out in this instance because he's ordered to kill the guy. But right then and there, he should have noticed, wait a minute, there's nothing happening. I mean, the universe hasn't ended. He hasn't gone Super Saiyan and be a god. And maybe that's what he's thinking in his head. Nothing's happening. And plus, he doesn't want to kill this innocent guy. So he says this. I'm alone now. But it's cool to see these two guys work with each other. Because again, in the war, it was them against each other, but not really, but it was. Because Jet Li wasn't really a bad guy, he was this, Statham's really the bad. I hate war. I hate the story. I hate a couple of decent action scenes, but other than that, I just hate the story, the plot, the way the director did the fight scenes. Oh, I gotta pause for this. This is like one of the big scenes of the movie. When he takes the motorcycles. This is like something Incredible Hulk would do. I mean, it's ridiculous, but that guy would be obliterated. He's dead. And then look at this. It's just the Incredible Hulk would do this. Jesus. But they do a mix of practical, like actual motorcycles skidding on the ground, which the fact they didn't make it just one gigantic CG heap was nice to see. I mean, it did make me smile, so I guess it did somewhat of his job. Just, you know. I mean, you have superhuman strength, you should be able to do stuff like that. But again, that cop, I mean, if you have two motorcycles and you do this to a guy, the fact there's no marks on him, I'm like, what kind of bullshit is this? Oh, because it's PG-13. That's what I mean, like, if you hadn't, but I don't know if Jet Li's really the guy that would star like a gory movie. Like he's not really that type of guy. I think maybe the more violent film you got was maybe Black Mask, which I don't think Jet Li's big on that film. I know he didn't come back for the sequel, Black Mask 2. But I mean, Jet Li's been in R-rated films, but he doesn't really do like graphic stuff. Same with like Jackie Chan. Now you look at something like Stallone and Cliffhanger, where you just the guy stalactite and Cliffhanger. It's like, oh fuck yeah, oh shit, it has a bit more impact. Let's say when the motorcycles hit the top, it just like it's like it loses a bit of its impact, and it makes it look a bit goofy because, again, superhuman strength slamming two motorcycles. I mean, you either squish like a bug or your arms would be completely shredded and like whatever. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, spoilers for those who haven't seen the film. I know that she gets killed off by the bad Jet Li. And that's why the good Jet Li wants to kill him, but then Statham says you can't kill him because if you kill him, it could rip all the universes together. And Jet Li's like, almost, I don't care, but then he does care. I think this is the bad Jet Li, though. I believe so. Just my neighbor's chickens are... They're getting upset that Carla Gugino's going to go, too. I can understand, because I like her. You know, nice looking lady. Pretty decent actress. But I will say, I mean, this is not too bad of a fake out, where it does make you question which Jet Li this is. Like, is this the good Jet Li? Is this the bad Jet Li? And then you realize who it is. Like, oh shit. But of course, that is like, well, wait a minute. Jason Statham was with him, so that's where you question it, and then this confirms it here. Well, actually, no, there's a Jet Li then. You don't see Statham. I guess that is a question, like, which Jet Li is this? Because I want to say, well, we don't see Statham, and Statham was with him, so, like, where would Statham be? I just that thing with the dog is that the dog knows that's his owner, so the dog is not barking at him, but if it was this one, maybe he'd be barking at it. And so here she's going to ask a question to confirm his identity. Because they never met at a bookstore. That's where she tricks him. And it wasn't a bookstore. There you go. I thought Jet Li did a good job here in this scene as the good guy. And I'm saying, like, this Gabe, I mean, like, in this world, Jet Li's going to be framed for murder. He's going to be going up against pretty much shit out of luck. And again, I think that's one of the things about the film that kind of, if you're watching this, you're probably a big Jet Li fan. And then being a big Jet Li fan, the fact that, again, he can't do as much as other films because he has to be at the limit of these special effects, of this technology. So, like, the good Jet Li's not going to really be fighting anybody. He's pretty much on the run, on the defensive for most of the movie. And then the bad Jet Li, again, when he is fighting, it's very much into special effects, like the motorcycle bit and, you know, the Matrix type stuff. I think a lot of people didn't really want to see that with Jet Li. It gets to a point where, well, hell, anybody could have played the role. I guess if that made sense. Like, anybody could have played with all these special effects Like you watch, Kiss of the Dragon. No, someone with that martial arts prowess need to play that part, whether it be Jet Li, Jackie Chan, whatever. Here, anybody. I mean, Jason Statham could have played this part. Delroy Lindo could have played this part. Anybody could have played this part of fighting all this. You just want to have the striking fist and then the other type of movements at the end. And this little speech here about how he met her kind of does come back at the end of the film. It's kind of cool that you see the trajectory of these two guys, like Statham here, then you look at Statham in The Expendables, and you have the scene with him and Jet Li fighting Gary Daniels, and they both take Gary Daniels down. It's interesting to see the span of almost 10 years, because again, this is 2001, Expendables is 2010, just how different Statham became, and I mean, I guess you could say Jet Li didn't really. How could you say if he really broke into the American market? I mean, I did say he did make a couple films. I mean, after this, even he did Cradle to the Grave. Let's say the same year, Kiss of the Dragon. Cradle to the Grave was 2003. I believe, which I don't mind that film, and I don't know if that did well or not. Cradle to the Grave. I think it did okay opening weekend. That's a cool touch. The Delroy Lindo in this universe. I mean, I don't know why Statham is doing this, because there's no way this guy's don't know what the fuck he's talking about, but I guess Statham his character just had to do this. But that's kind of a nice touch to have Delroy. Of course, again, how serendipitous that Delroy Lindo, this universe just happened to be right there. He wasn't in Canada. He wasn't in, I don't know, Hawaii. He wasn't in fucking Russia or Seattle or I don't know what, Florida. Just so happened to be at that one gas, like of all the gas stations they stopped at, the one fucking gas station they stopped at is the one that Delroy Lindo works at. Fucking hell. But I was surprised there wasn't like another Jason Statham then. Like, who's the Jason Statham in this world? Maybe it's the movie star Jason Statham, or maybe it's Frank Martin. Maybe Frank Martin. Maybe it's Chev Chelios. Maybe there's a universe with Chev Chelios or Frank Martin. You never know. And here's the set piece for our finale, our location, I should say. But yeah, I think Corey Yun, who did the fight choreography, I'm sure he was just limited to what he could and couldn't do because of having to work with the special effects. Because you have to do this stuff here and there. And that's the thing when you get into the final fight with Jet Li versus Jet Li, yet it's hampered because with Jet Li fights, you want to see the two of them back and forth and much more of a fluid smoothness to the choreography. You cannot have that with this because you have two of the same people. So you have to keep masking it. You have to keep hiding it. oh, we shoot this from behind, or if you shoot this, that face has to be CG. It can't be too quick or look too ridiculous. And that does affect the fight scene. And so again, the idea might be fun of Jet Li versus Jet Li, but the execution, that's not really a great. Like, you know, you say don't breathe it in, but when you're yelling and screaming, it's kind of hard not to breathe it in, you know? Very lucky these little portholes were there for them to hide in. Damn, charred the whole thing. Definitely got the sparks flying there. But also you have James Wong and Glen Morgan. They're not really guys that have done a lot of action stuff. Martial arts stuff. Which I'm sure that bits were left to Tori Yun. But again, Tori Yun is hampered by having to deal with these special effects, so then they're not going to be as up to par compared to... I don't know if he worked with him on Kiss of the Dragon, but like, you know, the Transporter films. The first two, I should say, with Jason Statham. Were you able to do a bit more? And then even the fight scenes, they're more one guy be overpowered because he got the cheat code to have super strength and super speed. It's also interesting because you look at Statham's fighting style and lack thereof, and it's probably after the, because I know, I mean, granted, it was a making of. They usually have to hype it up as much as possible, but you know, people talk about how enthusiastic he was to do this project, and I want to learn Chinese kung fu. I want to do this. I want to do that. And yeah, this probably helped lead him into going to that arena of, oh, I love doing this action, I love doing this stuff, I want to do more of this stuff, which led to The Transporter. And that was, I mean, he had done films like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and stuff with Guy Ritchie, and like I said, Ghosts of Mars, but, which I kind of wish in retrospect he was. I like Ghosts of Mars, as flawed as it is. I even like Ice Cube in Ghosts of Mars. But it would have been cool if they actually had Jason Statham as a star, which apparently was the original idea. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I've heard. Thank God they at least take off that shirt so we could tell the difference. See, that's why you have to keep sort of hiding it with certain stuff. So you have to, like, okay, this is from behind one guy, this is from behind one guy, this is from behind one guy, this is from behind one guy. Because you can't have too many of those side moments unless the face is hidden. Because, like, well, wait a minute, that's not Jet Li. Now, don't get me wrong, there's some nice movements here. And you get the idea of filming, like, you had to do this where Jet Li had to be in 2 different costumes. You probably had to do the fight 2 different times. And again, the different fighting styles, again, the bad guy's more going straight while he's going in this whirlwind motion. And honestly, like, effects like that where it's obviously CG, like wire work enhanced and kicked in, it's like, okay, it's kind of like why I could watch Romeo Must Die, but that was what a lot of wire work enthused into that one. But it seemed a lot less so in Kiss of the Dragon, which became like my favorite American Jet Li film, and actually became my favorite Jet Li, because like, I don't know, the action fight scenes and the way they were directed just appealed to me more in that one. But anyway, this is like a superhero movie, and you have people that they're already kind of superheroes of their own. It's like when Jackie Chan at the end did that film, The Medallion. But like I said before, I'd rather watch this than The Medallion. The Medallion, this one again, at least I find the story of the multiverse in this more interesting than the Medallion story. And the Medallion had that annoying guy trying to be funny, he's comic relief. Here, at least you got Statham and Delroy Lindo in the supporting cast. That helps a lot more than whoever the fuck that guy was in the Medallion trying to be funny. I think he was one of the guys from Mouse Hunt with Nathan Lane. He was like the other guy. He just wasn't that funny. Just more of a chore. And this one at least attempts to be a bit more serious. Because again, this guy's love of his life died, and he's serious about this, and in this different fighting style. Again, I like that little touch to make it different between the two. Again, it also works in this sense, because this guy goes in a straight line, so I'm going to avoid you, and watch it again. It's not a bad fight. I don't think it's a bad fight. I'm just saying it's not my favorite. It's not Fist of Legend. It's not, I didn't Kiss the Dragon, but it's not a bad fight. Interesting visual aesthetic to have these sparks. Obviously, I don't know if superimpose is the right word. If because there was sparks, they would burn the shit out of you. And they're not going to want to burn the shit out of Jet Li. Obviously, they do this with the slow motion, so these are added in post-production. Because again, these sparks would burn the shit out of you. I guess you have to add a little bit of visual aesthetic. Because again, you notice none of the sparks hit them. Like, none of these sparks hit them. Even though there's thousands and thousands, nobody gets hit. There you go, I was waiting for Jet Li to hit. Stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself. Will you stop beating yourself? There's the right way of beating, and there's the wrong way of beating. This is the wrong way. Hey, if you have sex with yourself, is that masturbation? No, I'm just fucking with you. I know like a year or two ago, there was like a picture of Jet Li, and he looked really old and really sick, and I don't know what the deal was with it. I don't know if it's just something, if he was sick, or if it's just we haven't seen Jet Li for a long. I mean, Jet Li's up there in age. I mean, he's fairly old. Been doing films for a while, and maybe that's just I haven't seen Jet Li in a long time. That's just how it was. It just, they gave Statham at least something to do to cause that explosion. At least give him a little bit to accomplish. Of course, the major decision. He beat the guy, he killed the guy, wants to... I think another thing that kind of does hurt this fight, though, is there's no dialogue between the two. A lot of times I can... Not all the time, but a lot of times... I guess that's more maybe an American thing, where there's like dialogue between the two. Like, I think of the fight in Broken Arrow between... Oh wait, the Statham's reaction here. Okay, we're not there yet. I think he's coming up here. Shit. Just the way he's like, shit. Just like his mouth like curved over here. Shit. Again, and they both have the same shirts. Like, how serendipitous. They both have the same clothes and the same shirts. Fuck. I'll get to what I was saying in a minute. Why would they just believe that was a guy? Because the other Jet Li said that's him? What kind of idiots are these guys? What kind of fucking morons are they? They just go, that must be him. Guys are fucking idiots. I think just because this guy said that's him, that's the only reason they believe it? Give me a fucking break. It's the wedding ring, right? Like there's a band wedding ring on the finger. There you go. Good job on Statham's part. Got a good eye. It's the wedding band ring. Because the bad guy was never married. But I guess, in American fight scenes, there's a lot of, like, shit talking back and forth. I did, like, Broken Arrow, John Travolta versus Christian Slater, or Universal Soldier. So good night, asshole. Good night, asshole. Which it's fun because it's part of the story of the fight. But you never really get that with Jet Li versus Jet Li. Like one, like you killed my love of my life, all this stuff here, but how will he be cared for and washed over? See, Statham's right. He's going to be arrested and put to death in the electric chair. But he's going to be watched over and cared for. He's going to be in the fucking electric chair. And then the bad guy would win anyway. So that makes no fucking sense. You're either going to be on the run and a cop's going to kill you on sight, because you're now a cop killer, or you're going to be killed in prison. Of course, technically in this penal colony, the bad guy could die as well, and then wouldn't that defeat the whole purpose? I mean, the ending doesn't really make sense if you think about it. This whole idea is that if the bad guy dies, then this guy becomes the god or becomes the destructor of the universe. So why would you put him in the midst of 1,000 upon 1,000 criminals where someone could take a lucky shot and kill him? It makes for a fun image at the end, but at the end it's like, wait a minute, if you want this guy protected, because if he died, that's why they didn't have Jet Li kill him. His evil version. So here they set the good Jet Li into the most hospitable dimension ever. It's like a cleaner version of Back to the Future Part 2's future. And a possible falling in love again. And similar circumstances. Second chance. So it's a nice ending for him. thanks to Jason Statham's character. But like the bad guy, you're thinking, well, wait a minute. What if a bad guy got a lucky shot? What if a bad guy got a lucky shot and killed this guy? Wouldn't that defeat your whole purpose of you need to keep him alive so that the universe doesn't get destroyed? So would you not lock him in like a isolated facility? So again, this wasn't really thought of. And how do people live and eat in this colony? Are there guards? There can't be much guards because he's like playing this teen in the mountain. And that was the line, "I'm nobody's bitch. You are mine." I'll admit, there's a part of me that almost wants to see the movie of him playing teen on the mountain, just kick everybody's ass. And this guy, yeah, you're more of just Jet Li, just kick everybody. But again, does he not still have his superpowers? So when he just, like, each time he kicks these people, they would fly, wouldn't they be flying like 80 feet away? And doesn't he still have his superpowers? So couldn't he just beat up all the guards and all the stuff here? Again, there's a lot of questions. Again, aren't they afraid that he'll get killed? Doesn't he still have his superpowers? Won't his superpowers help him escape and destroy this whole facility? Is there no restraints? I mean, there's a craft hovering above it, but what the hell they don't do? Again, doesn't this guy have superpowers? But I don't know. I don't think they thought that far, too. Maybe I'm overthinking it. But, I mean, if you know the answers, feel free to comment down below if I missed something. So, it's a fun visual, but it really doesn't make any lick of sense if you think about it for a couple minutes. Or less than that. And I don't think I ever thought about that until now. Wait a minute, aren't they supposed to keep this guy safe? Because if he dies, then the good one becomes the one and could destroy the universe. And again, does he still have superpowers? And how do you diffuse those superpowers? It's like, oh, he has those superpowers anymore. Why? When he's punching these people, shouldn't they be, again, flying like 80 feet away? I mean, this is a guy that lifted motorcycles with one hand. Two motorcycles with two hands. And just one in each hand. But, yeah, the movie's even shorter than I thought. Hour and 21 minutes. And I've been just blabbing for a minute. So, yeah, an hour and 20 minutes. Very short film, very brisk film. In one ear, out the other, some would say, but at the very least, a fun enough time waster. Again, there may be logic issues, there may be not as much wondrous martial art fight scenes because you have to deal with an effects-driven story. But like I said, I like the cast. It's cool to see Statham early in his career. Jet Li. I like Jet Li. And since we're at the credits, I'll pause from time to time to look at it. I'll pause now at the credits, because it's just the credits. But still, like Jet Li I like. Again, he's not as fluent in the English language, but he's learning, he's trying. Carla Gugino, Delroy Lindo. Probably the last time you'll see Delroy Lindo's name above Jason Statham. Let's see. Dean Norris. That was a guy at the beginning of the film. I knew that guy looked familiar. Dean Norris was on the Tremors TV show, and he's been in other stuff too, Dean Norris. And yeah, those two guys, I don't know if they were working at Autopsy, but I said the one guy, it was Mark Borchardt, who was in an American movie. The other guy is Darren Morgan, another writer for the X-Files. I think he worked on like Jose Chun's from Outer Space and some other episodes of the X-Files. So yeah, that's the other guy, Darren Morgan. But yeah, the other guy was Mark Borchardt. Wow, I forgot he was in this. American movie made an impression for a lot of people, so he would show up in cameos. I think he was a cameo in a Seth MacFarlane cartoon, and he had a big role in an episode of Greg the Bunny. I think when they were on the Independent Film Channel. A few other appearances for the next couple years. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. Let me skip to the songs. What songs we have on the soundtrack? Do these effects? Decent amount of effects work in this. See, what are the companies apparently involved? They have this, a lot of effects. We have set unit, post production, motion control unit, digital visual effects by Kleiser Walcott Construction Company. Okay. Digital map paintings by Riot. Alright. Additional visual effects by Digital Filmworks. Additional visual effects by Computer Cafe. Additional visual effects by Tippett Studio. Tippett? Really? Tippett Studio? Huh. And now we're getting to the songs. Oh, speaking of, yeah, bodies, that's right, it was at the beginning of the film. Let the body... I was too busy talking about other stuff. I didn't mention when that actress at the beginning, let the bodies hit the floor. That's Drowning Pool. Down with the Sickness by Disturbed. Are you down with the sickness? Come on, you down with the sickness? You got Papa Roach. Yeah, Sinner by Drowning Pool. That's the song that Jet Li was listening to on the radio. I'm a sinner. So Drowning Pool, Papa Roach, and Disturbed. That was the soundtrack of the 2000s. Papa Roach, Disturbed, Drowning Pool. All they needed was Linkin Park. You put Linkin Park, you got the whole like 2000, early 2000 era of music. If I learned not to stop stuttering. But this was an easy watch. It was an easy sit through. It went by at a brisk pace. I was surprised it's over already. Released by Columbia Pictures, Sony. Then came out, didn't do that well. But I don't think it's that bad of a movie. And the DVD, like the special features, director and crew commentary. You have Jet Li as the one, which is about 13 minutes long. You have Multiverse creates the one, which is 18 minutes long. Pretty much deal with Koy Yoon and how to do the fight scenes with the doubles and the wire work. Let's see. The Man He Faces Jet Li. The trailer. That's where you have that PCB. Very early 2000s. And then filmographies. James Wong, Jet Li, Carla Gugino. What's to say about Jason Statham at this point? Oh, just that he did Lost Doctor 2, Smoking Barrel, Snatch, Turn It Up. I don't know what that is. Ghost of Mars 2001, The One 2001. And Delroy Lindo. I forgot, that's right, he was in Romeo Must Die. In the back of my head, I'm like, I know Delroy worked with Jet Li before. It was Romeo Must Die. And they have The Last Castle 2001, Heist 2001, Gone 60 Seconds 2000, Cider House Rules, Ransom, Broken Arrow. That's right, he was in Broken Arrow. Malcolm X, Get Shorty. James Wong, his second film after Final Destination. Let's see, Jet Li. What do they say about Jet Li's filmography? well, selective filmography, as they say. It says, Once Upon a Time in China 1, 2, and 3, The Tai Chi Master, The Bodyguard from Beijing, Fist of Legend, Legends of Shaolin, My Father's a Hero. Was that called like Jet Li's The Master, or was it called Jet Li's something else? Black Mask, Once Upon a Time in China and America, Lethal Weapon 4, Romeo Must Die, Kiss of the Dragon, and The One. And Carla Gugino, Spy Kids, Snake Eyes, Michael, I forgot about that movie with John Travolta. Oh, she was in The Son-in-Law with Pauly Shore, that's right. How the hell could I forget that? Hey buddy, let's get some grindage. How the hell could I forget she was in The Son-in-Law with Pauly Shore? Of course, those films never got a Blu-ray. Encino Man, Son-in-Law, In the Army Now. I like those Pauly Shore films. Stuff after that, not so much. But those, maybe it's nostalgia, but I do enjoy them. But anyway, that's it for The One. Thanks for watching. Take care. And we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.